Hi friends, Lisa with Green Hook Studio here, and today I'm going to show you how to make these quick little hearts using a magic ring. You can use any yarn or hook you like, it's really up to you. They'll vary in size slightly depending on which yarns and hooks you choose. They're also a great use for those leftover balls of yarn in your stash. These are great for making garlands, which I'll be showing you at the end of the video, or can be sewn onto hats, blankets, or even other items as an applique or sewn onto a keychain. I'll be making these with worsted weight yarn and an eye or 5.5mm hook. So grab some yarn and your favorite hook and let's get started. Okay, here we'll start with our magic ring. And I'm going to make a loop big enough to do all of our stitches for this heart inside the ring. So we'll get our loop pulled up and insert the hook. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do 3 triple crochet stitches into the magic ring. So it's 1, 2, and 3. When you do these, make sure that you're going around both the tail and the loop. So there's number 3. And now we're going to do 3 double crochet into the same ring, making sure still to go around both the tail and the loop. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're at the bottom of the heart. Here's the top piece, and this is going to be the bottom point. I'm going to cinch it in a little bit so we don't lose that tail. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing around the other side, just in the reverse order. So we're going to do 3 double crochet into the ring. 1, and 2, and 3. Then we do 3 triple crochet, and make sure you keep that tail where you can see it, that it doesn't get lost. You'll need that at the end. So here's our 3 triple. 1, 2, and 3. Now to finish, I will be doing 3 chains and then reattach with a slip stitch to the top of the heart. So it's 3 chains and slip stitch around both the tail and the ring. Chain 1 to finish it and pull the yarn through. Clip that. And then once the heart is finished, you'll want to pull on that tail gently to cinch the circle shut. Close that magic ring. Now, if you plan to use this as an applique or a keychain, you'll want to keep a tail to sew it on. Otherwise, I like to trim these tails and weave them in to hide them. So that tail I'm going to weave in since I'm going to use these for a garland. So we'll need to thread those into the needle if you can. You can be sneaky and sew them both in at the same time. So I've threaded my needle and I'll go back through that magic ring pull all the way through, and then skip a little stitch here and go back up through. And then trim that end to finish it off. Now, if you would like to turn your hearts into a cute garland, you have a couple options. The first is to simply sew through them. The second is to crochet a chain to link them. I'm going to start with showing how I sew through them. All right, I've got my needle threaded with my yarn of choice for this project, and I'm going to sew first through the back of the top of the loop of the heart, and then from front to back again in the next stitch. And then I'm going to repeat this in the top of the other side, going back to front, and then front to back through the next stitch. And just make sure not to pull it too tight across the top. And then you pick up your next heart and repeat the same thing from the back to the front and the front to the back of that bump, top bump of the heart. And then repeat on the other side, just making sure not to pull it too tight. And there you go. You continue this with the rest of your hearts and make your garland as long as you like. Or if you like, you can do a chain, which I will show next. To join your hearts with a chain, I like to start off making a slip knot and then chaining 10 to give a little bit of length on the end of the chain to use for hanging or tying. So we'll chain our 10. And then pick up the first heart, and we're going to slip into a stitch at the top of the first bump, and then I will chain 5 across and slip onto the top of the next bump. And then to give space between the hearts, I'll chain 5 more. You can chain more or less depending on how you want to space your hearts. So I'll take this next heart and slip into the top bump, chain 5, slip into the top of the next bump, and then if I was attaching another heart, I would chain 5, or if this is the end, I would chain 10 to make it even with the other side for tying or attaching to something. I hope you had fun making these with me. I would love to see your finished heart projects. Please tag me on Instagram at Greenhook Studio to share them. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and happy crocheting.